I don't know if it's still connected. Oh my goodness, I just remembered that I had Bluetooth on. So maybe I have to keep it here for the mic. Hello and welcome to today's p+log. New camera, new phone, new name, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, this is a long, I've been wanting to post this p+log, but it's like every time I've wanted to post something else just needs to be said. So maybe this is just the right time when things have finally slowed down with work and everything. There's so much that I want to say. So much I've wanted to say that isn't even related to what I want to say now. I've wanted to talk about the whole, not chiral, not being chiral, but something. Anyways, there was a whole math science thing that I was going to talk about. Then my old phone, it was on my old phone and it died in the middle of recording, so it never saved. But now I'm thinking there's a reason. As we all do. There's always a reason for something. But, even as I'm recording this video, there are many things that I won't be able to go over due to the nature of it. And that's actually something I wanted to get to, is that there are a lot of things that have been in my mind that I've just been seeing on the blogs, things that are happening every day that I'm noticing. And I don't think I will ever be able to say everything that I'm going through and everything that I'm learning and share it here. For instance, I've come to a recent decision, and I think this is the true one. As I was listening to the p+log, I Am Alive Today, I listened to that one, and I could tell that the whole time that p+log was coming more of a place of hate and anger and bitterness and regret than it was from a place of love. And the decisions made then were to counteract everything that was motivating those emotions. And whether or not that will ultimately be the plan, it's definitely not the right way to start things. And it's not a right way to live life. So I've decided a different direction. I've decided not to go to school. I don't know how many times I've switched back and forth at this point, but this is coming from a place of love and loving God and trusting Him. Once again, if I was to tell you how this decision came, I would have to tell you, go to my YouTube history. What was I watching? What was I listening to? Then I would also say, be a mind reader, because there are times when I remember I was in the laundromat, not yesterday or the day before, but maybe it was the day before. It was before work. And I was just having my earbuds in my ears, but no music. I was just thinking about everything. And just praying. Because at that time there was a breakdown. Not a breakdown in character. It revealed who I was. But it was a breakdown in this person that I wish to be, and that's someone who is doing good always, right? So there was a moment where I couldn't do it, and I really wanted to be selfish. I wanted to be like the way these people are to me. I was even counting the dollars that I should spend, and it was really funny. And it's funny actually, because the $7 I was saying that I owe is almost exactly what I spent on my laundry that day. So that was pretty funny. Anyways, if not, it was less, but I still gave the $30. Anyways, even before that, and I wrote this in my notes, which reminds me at some point I'll be doing a p+log, going through all my notes from my old phone, my recordings, and anyways, what was I gonna say? Yes, the previous one. It was when I was doing laundry on my own, and I walked all the way, and I was carrying my dirty clothes high on my back, and I was thinking, wow, this would be a great challenge for Big Brother, because Big Brother season started. And I was like, I wonder if I still want to do Big Brother. And I discussed this in my notes, but basically, I'm not deciding that. I'm not deciding that for myself. It's something that I'm depending on God to say yes to, if it needs to be. It's part of His plan. And for me to have been cautious and to literally think, wait, like I've never had that before. I mean, not that I can think of, especially with something that I've really wanted, because when those feelings of wanting to be on Big Brother came, it was very strong. And not only did it show that I'm still human, but it showed that things that I strongly desire will still be there. But the discipline comes in considering God, because He is the Lord of my life, and I don't want to be in charge of my own life anymore. And it's something that people may not understand, especially the non-religious people, but truly when you make decisions because you love God and you love what He wants, you think twice about things that you want and how that plays into His plan. So, but there's so many things. I wish I haven't been journaling, so I can't even reference that. I haven't had time. I've been working out, and then after that doing chores or something, maybe, I'm not saying I always do, but I would do chores or something, and then make pancakes. That's what I've been doing a lot of. Getting ready for work. It's been busy. But I've come to this new decision of not going to school because I love God more than I hate the devil. And that wouldn't have made sense before. I would have thought that those are one and the same. But really, there are many people who can hate something but not love something else. For instance, me hating the devil just means I'm going to do everything opposite of what he would want of me. He doesn't want me to succeed? Okay, then I'm going to do something where I can succeed. He doesn't want me to prosper? I'm going to find a way to get a lot of money. And that way of thinking is ultimately fatal. I feel like now the verse is coming to mind. Oh, it was when I was reading, the Bible, in that one p+log that got cut off. I don't know what verse it was. I don't know, and I'm probably not going to remember. But yeah, this love of God is something that even surpasses my family, even though I never thought that would happen. I've wanted to go to school so that I can be near my cousin, and so that my dad can really see that God is working. God is working. I wanted to prove it to him. And when the idea of me going back to school came, I was really happy. I was relieved. I was like, yes, I can go to school, and everyone will be proud. But it's different now. It's that God is number one. I want God, and I want people to want God, and I'm not gonna make it any different than what it is. I'm gonna make it as plain as it is in the Bible. Loving God, wanting to be in His will and live by His will. I mean, it's not because you hate the devil, and it's not because you want to defeat him. It's because you want God. As I was saying those last few parts, I was remembering that my mom's going to be watching this, so the little hindrance came over, but that's going to be gone again. I just want to say, like, that time that I was recording, I was wanting to talk about, I don't know if it was a recording or if it was a video, but I wanted to talk about how I really love God, and it's really redefined a true covenant for me, because it's something from my heart. It's not something mentally where it's like I gotta do it. It's I want to, and I'm happy to do it. And that's a different feeling. It's a different way of living life. It's really life-giving. And I remember I put on Shania Twain for some reason, but there was so much happening that day already, and it was in that day that I was thinking, you know what? I love truth. I love things that are good more than I love the pride of myself, or the pride of being in something, or the pride of this. And I want people to see how that benefits them. So I'm not going to be someone to cut it off. I'm not going to be someone to decide for people, oh, you're not cut out, so I'm not even going to try. And I mean, I think about in other things like training people to run, I do get a little selfish, because motivating them is hard for me sometimes. So, but yeah. The moment I realized that I love God more than I love the pride of my intelligence, which is why, by the way, I am not someone who feels the need to explain everything every time and give a background story every time. Like, even though I'm not giving a lot of information, there's really not much I can give. A lot of it is invisible. Like when I tell my students, some of the math that you're doing is invisible, which means it's not something that you can write down, or you could, but it's not necessary. It's something that should be happening, but in your mind. And you should be able to do it. And it's those invisible math skills that are necessary to complete other math objectives, and makes you a better mathematician. And even though they're not seen, they're important. And it's the same thing. They had to happen. So for me, there are a lot of invisible things that I can't even really recall. But it has worked on me to be where I am at now. And I know that it was God being patient with me and working with me where I'm at with the things that I am attracted to, like music or just walks. And I mean, I try not to listen to a lot of music, but maybe it would be one song, and that's what gets to me. Anyways, when I realized that I love God more than I love the pride of my intelligence, I was overwhelmed. I was like, this is probably going to be it every time, and that's probably why people who get married, who are really growing, their marriage is always fresh. And it's because as they're growing to learn each other and growing to learn themselves, there's a new feeling of understanding and security because of that understanding. I feel more secure every time I'm growing with God. And it was so funny because in the beginning I used to be fearful. I used to be like, I don't understand this relationship, this God thing. I don't know how I'm supposed to prove it to people with not enough reasons. The fact is that there are not a lot of reasons. The only evidence, yes, is the Bible, but other than that, there's nothing else to say. You can't say, if you look here and look here, that's how you know. It's not that way. And accepting that is something very interesting. And when that happened, I was just like, wow, I truly love God than I do myself. And that's the beginning of me truly being shaped now. I mean, I've always been trying to shape myself, but I'm at this point where anything that I do, I consider first, what would God say? What would God want? How does this fit into His will? And I'm being shaped from that, not because it should be this way, it should be this way. It's how should it be done? Let me know how to do it. Really thank God. Even the decision that I've made to not go to school was one that was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I couldn't tell a lot of people. I've only told Charlene, Tara, and Maya at this point. Not in that order. It was Tara first because she texted me a photo that was at NLC. So we had a phone call, and that's when I told her. Then the next one was Charlene. That same day I called her, and we were just encouraging each other. It's the best. It's the best. Then after that, at some point, Maya was asking me questions about why am I buying land. So when I told her, it's because I want to invest in something that I know I'm going to use it immediately. So that's how she ended up finding out, was because I was talking on the phone too loud. Not too loud, just it was not in a private place. Yeah. I spilled the beans that way. But, yeah, I really love God, and I'm no longer scared of shame. I mean, I know that this decision will bring shame and disappointment, but, I'm no longer fearful of it. I mean, I used to, like, and I've shared it before in one of the p+logs. I don't remember which one it was that I think it was the June 30th one is big, that one. I talked about what I prayed for when I went to the mountains with my mom and the church, not the church, but the pastor and his group. I remember praying for God not to put me to shame. And it's so funny that I'm asking for that. Yes, there are Bible verses that I read that comforted me, and the Bible is that way. It can comfort you. But it is also a teacher, so it's not just for you to stay as you are and be okay, that everything will be okay. No, it's also about learning. And And that's when I say that verse at the time comforted me. But yesterday I read, as prompted by Maya, I read Matthew chapter 6 in the do not worry verses. There was one verse that came afterwards was, seek ye first the kingdom of God and its righteousness, then all of these things will be added unto you. And I always knew that the order is that way. I always knew that. But I never knew how bad that would mean in my life. Because I don't know, it could be something different for somebody else. It could be something more severe in their situation. It could be less severe. I mean, we can't compare each other to each other. It's just it's stupid. We're all different. But when the Bible, when Jesus said, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, that means don't seek to be comforted. I mean, you can. And it talks about how God knows what you need. Don't worry about that. Stop worrying about what you're going to wear, what you're going to eat. Don't worry about that. What you need to worry about is seeking the kingdom first. That should be your priority. So that new understanding, whereas before I was like, okay, I just need to focus on God and everything will be okay. When you focus on God, everything will be okay. It's different from there versus now, where it's like, of course those things are going to come. God cares. God will take care of you. So stop worrying about, stop praying for it. Even talks about how pagans pray. They pray stupidly. They pray, and they repeat themselves. Jesus is saying, stop doing that. What you need to focus on is the kingdom. Focus on that. And to see it that way, focus on that. It's amazing. Because it's something I am willing to do. And it's with my heart. It's just amazing. And with where I'm going, which is unknown, I'm not worrying about it. And I know that sounds radical, but I'm choosing not to worry about it. That doesn't mean I'm not going to do what I can. It just means when I'm not doing what I can, I'm not going to be thinking, oh, what's going to happen, what's going to happen. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to keep living the life that I have and continue to do it to glorify God. Because I love him. He loves me. And everyone needs to know about that love so that they can live a good life. Oftentimes I would be scared, though. I'll admit this. And I don't know, besides watching this one girl on YouTube. And I'm really glad. I'm very glad that I've gotten off YouTube, the way that I was public. Because I need so much time for development and living the life that I want people to live. There are moments where I'm like, I hope I'm not ready. I hope I'm not prepared, and that's another thing I shouldn't be worrying about. I just need to focus on what I need to focus on, which is knowing God, knowing his will, knowing his plans, everything like that. Yeah. There's really not a lot to say except for that I've made the decision. And I'm doing it shamelessly, not even thinking about what shame it might bring, whatever. It's just, I'm doing it. I'm happy to do it. I'm not ashamed to speak the name of Jesus Christ. I don't really know the song, it's been a while. But I'm not ashamed to speak the name of Jesus Christ. Some ideas that are rattling around my mind is maybe I'll be substituting near the area that I want to live at. That's all that comes to mind, honestly. Everything else that I would be saying at this point is just ideas that are coming out of my mind, but I just want to say, living a life that is approved by God is different from living a life to shame the devil. Because that could mean many things, and there are many ways of shaming the devil. But there's only one way that is absolute shaming the devil, and that's by loving God more than you want to shame the devil. More than you want to do anything. So, yeah, there's not much else for me to say. Thank you for watching. I'm looking forward. I think I'm gonna be renaming the channel. I think I'm gonna be dropping Precious Pecans. It's not something for me anymore. The idea came when I wanted to post that Bible verse about, not worrying about tomorrow. And I was like, I don't want to post it on Precarious. I don't want to post it on, obviously I'm not posting it on Precious Pecans. So it's like, I think now's the time to go on that other account. So I'm going on that account now. That's my account. And that's when I posted that photo, and I was like, you know what? This photo is related to this video. And